I gotta, hold on, I gotta shoot the lo-fi guy. All right.
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver.
Cool, so it saved exactly where we were. That's awesome.
Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string.
So if you remember, we were investigating a creepy, like, serial killer, like Pepe Sylvia room that was hidden in our house. And a man came down the stairs, and our friend Rollo tackled him. And it turned out to be one of the guys from town. I think he ran like a general store. He had like a fruit stand or something.
The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain. They couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
Ooh. They'd run good cop, chill cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. It was all a big mistake. Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, all right. Mistakes happen. The kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes,
Luca gestured to the corner.
barrels of explosives. Oh yeah, there's fucking explosives in here too. I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings.
He's gonna
Mr.
bolt,
Tolliver
isn't he?
gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This'll all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward
Yeah,
the
he's gonna
stairs
bolt.
as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr.
A past that must be brought
punctuated
to
his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Ah, he got away. Son of a...
Darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there and let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement.
Yeah, not with playing good cop, chill cop.
Back to the drawing board.
Okay. So... Okay. So I don't have anything else I can use there. Let's see. This is... So if I remember... Okay. Let's go back to this part. With the bullying. And we'll do the we'll tickle the bully. Yeah. You played this part of the branch already. So let's go skip to where we left off.
The best policy. Luca paused for a moment, catching his breath.
It's cool that it does that and doesn't make you play through the whole thing again.
He'd only just
That's
met
for
back,
sure.
and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her. But finding Rollo was his primary concern.
So this is the timeline where Rollo is missing. And has been... Luca, what the hell are you doing out here? And why did a kid with gray hair just run past us in a panic?
Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching.
That's Beck. I don't care who she is. What happened? We were just helping look for Rollo. Luca, I need you to start telling me the truth.
Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older sibling, but this was the most intense Luca had ever seen her. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking straight through Luca.
We're running out of time.
In a torrent of rambled words and tears, Luca broke down.
Rollo and I weren't just playing in Weepwood yesterday. We were investigating lights at the old Valentine warehouse. But someone was in there in a strange suit. We hid in the dumpster and it had a heavy bag dropped on us. I think it was a body. So we ran, but we got split up. And I ran home, and that's all my fault. And now my best friend may never come back. Wow. Just, wow.
Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground in thought. With a determined sigh, she looked up at Luca.
It's not your fault, Luca. Rollo's gonna be okay, I promise.
Roxy drew herself up.
I'm gonna fix this. Luca, go home. But I want to help. This is too dangerous for a kid. I can't just sit around. I have to do something.
Roxy tried to think of the safest place to send Luca.
You go back to that little treehouse you two like to play in. Wait there in case Rollo shows up. Sound like a plan?
Luca wiped his cheeks and gave a quick nod.
You did the right thing telling me the truth. Now scoot. So the treehouse, you really believe his story? What other option do we have? Things have been strange around here leading up to the festival. My dad has been acting weird lately. Well, weirder than normal.
Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
Why is it so cold here? This place gives me the willies. Okay, so when we played the other day, this same... Let's pop this open real quick here. So when we played the other day, this same path led to us like going to the treehouse and us getting like attacked by the clipboard guys.
Mr. Nuncree jumped with a start.
Whoa, don't sneak up on an old fellow like that. Sorry? Who are you talking to? What?
Luca motioned to the phone booth.
Oh, no. I was just checking because I thought I heard it ring. But the dang thing never does. Yeah, I've never seen anyone use it, really. The whole thing's a waste of money, if you ask me. Any word from Rollo yet? Not yet. Long time for a boy to lose his way. Rollo knows these woods too well to get lost. I suppose you're right. Silly boy's antics have this whole town worried sick. The music's getting really intense. Antics? We all know Rollo likes to play his little pranks. You think this is a prank? What other possible explanation could there be? He's not playing a prank and he didn't get lost. Someone took him, I know it. How would you know that? Unless... Luca, is there something else that you know?
Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his substantial hands on Luca's shoulder.
Oh, bad touch. Bad touch. Nuh-uh. Dang it, boy, if there's something you know, something that can help your friend, you need to tell folks.
Luca peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. Kind eyes warmed a stern face.
The music is super intense.
Hiding beneath it all.
For this just being like, say something nice.
It was subtle, but Luca could sense something eating away at him.
Oh no. Shame.
There was a shame lurking behind those eyes. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait. Yesterday, Rollo and I were messing around at the old Valentine warehouse.
Mr. Nuncreed raised an eyebrow.
Both of you? You were with Rollo when he went missing? Not exactly. I was hiding in the dumpster. The dumpster? What were you doing in there? First, we were looking around. Then someone in a strange yellow suit came and dumped something on us. We both got scared and ran. It was the last I saw of him. You got scared by some garbage? Well, that's why you don't go skulking in someone's dumpster. But it wasn't garbage. I think it was a body. I'm sure it was just some trash. No, there was a name tag. It said Deep Engineering.
Mr. Nuncreed's shoulders slumped.
I wish you wouldn't have said that.
A deep sigh bellowed from his chest.
Why did you have to? I tried, Luca. God knows I tried to keep you safe.
Luca attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand clamped down on his shoulder.
Bad touch! Bad touch! You Van Horns just can't help yourselves, can you? We were all so close to being done with this.
With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luca into the phone booth.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What are you doing? It's out of my hands
The door
now.
latched shut with a mechanical hiss.
Shit. Oh, he's the guy! He's the suit guy!
As Luca pounded the glass, the floor dropped from under his feet.
He's the suit guy!
The inside of the
Oh,
phone
no.
was now a loose capsule plummeting at gravity's whim. Luca winced and pressed his hands to the walls. As he braced for impact, the capsule hurtled to a surprisingly smooth stop. He felt a cold rush of air and opened his eyes with hesitance.
It's about to be lost.
Two large figures in hazmat suits occluded his view. Luca heard the deep, resigned voice of Mr. Nuncreed over an intercom. He knows too much. The end. Wait. No. This isn't the end. I know there's still much more. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else.
Okay. So, can't really do anything else here. We don't have enough. We don't have any more charms. So I guess this is the next point. So this is when we said like the sky began to break and then like it was like nice out. But that led to us being trapped in the basement. So we need to do
for him as the clouds above began to rumble.
We got to make it
ominous
spooky.
thunder.
You sure we can make it home before the storm kicks off?
Luca surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the odds are good. Maybe you should stay here and I'll just make a break for it.
At that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
Care to recalculate those odds? Hurry inside, you two, before you catch cold. Luca, Nellie will keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. Meantime, you two hold tight. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff is still in boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guest. Cool.
Luca squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
Let's try and find some more charms to use. This looks wild. What is it? Gum. Gum.
Luca adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
I'm tracking the structural integrity of gum with increasing amounts of chewing. Chewed that one for 47 days.
Luca wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool. Oh, wow. Rollo and I have a radio just like this at the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. My mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fitted it with some state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. She seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. I think she feels guilty for working too much. So when she does have time for me, she showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luca flicked at one of the toggles.
I bet you get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. But around here, it's all farm reports and static. Ah, shucks.
Luca bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Pungent. All right, that's a
He
charm.
flipped open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and all the Fairview Condors. Boy, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry. Was this from your old school? The most recent one, yeah. Some schools gave me going away cards, and some did flowers. When they're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. So you moved a lot. Yeah, that's the thing with having a brilliant parent. There's always a better job somewhere else. These flowers would last longer if you put them in water. That's sort of a thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them. Luca, can I ask you something? Of course. Superhero landing. Dang, did that hurt? I'll be honest. That hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you looked cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? Like even when people are around? Well, Rollo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Gran loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a problem.
Luca took a deep breath,
Hi, buddy.
exhaling slowly.
I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? Excuse you. Here, right here. I'm right here. But one thing my dad told me when I was little, don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. If you try and hold it in, you're gonna pop. So then what do you do when you don't know what to do? Dad never got to that part. Something I figured out on my own, though. You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know. Something. We gotta register our complaints with the storm. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop jerking me around. I just want things to go back to the way that they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be alright. That things are gonna change.
Luca let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that I hate it. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere? Brah!
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
It's intense. I just want to be a normal kid.
Brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow, I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks. I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rollo at the festival? Sounds good. Luca, don't let the... Honey, get down. Cat laid on my whole ass keyboard. Don't let the universe jerk you around.
Beck gave Luca a light thump on the arm before heading in.
I keep moving it too, and she keeps like chasing the keyboard down.
Chapter 5. Friendly Feud. The air was heavy with a hard rain's residue. The smell of wet. Despite him, he'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone. Not even Rollo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rollo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luca told himself as he headed to the treehouse.
Catch up with Rollo at the treehouse. I have a feeling that that's not how it's going to be. No, I don't think so. I think Rollo's going to be mad. Oh, it's my friend. What was her name? Dawn. Hey, Dawn, tracking down a lead? You bet. I heard a juicy new rumor. Turns out, when Sharper Valentine died, he left behind a peculiar last will and testament. Peculiar how? He didn't just give his kids an inheritance. There were conditions. Like what? The document stipulated that Eris had to take on a child as her ward. A kid our age who just showed up to town one night with a lawyer. Solomon? Bingo. So Eris was forced to take care of him? Yep, or she would have lost everything. Why would Sharper care so much about some random kid? Rumor has it, old Sharper sowed some wild oats. That explains the way Eris treats him. Poor Solomon. How'd you find all this out? A good reporter never reveals her source, Luca. Interesting. The plot thickens still. So now I know that this fucking telephone booth is bad news. Get off. Hey, get off. I can't believe that guy murdered us twice.
A bit much.
He killed us twice. Excuse me, what are you doing? Just locking up for the night, sir. Oh, wonderful. I can only assume this means all festival preparations have been completed ahead of schedule. Not exactly, sir. The storm set us back a bit, and it's getting late, so we all decided to... You all decided? Yes, sir. I was unaware that your job involved deciding things. We're all here at Perennial Harvest because we believed in creating a better future, yes? Yes, sir. Very much, sir. Do you want to be the one who tell this town that we failed them? No. That we gave up because there was a little rainstorm and we all got sleepy? Of course not, sir. Good, then it's decided. Yes, sir. We'll work until the task is done. See that you do. Our harvest awaits. That's ominous. Pretty ominous. Though, like, it's been mostly ominous. At this, like, things, like, took a decided turn where it's, like, not really, like... I guess I appreciate, like, that this game gets dark. Like, that it's not, like, it's not 100% like cutesy, that it's kind of like, oh, for good luck. For good luck, we got to smack the melon a few times for good luck. All right. I also keep hitting that button because I'm like, is that the interact button? No, that's the menu button. treehouse was. We got a couple of things also. We should see if we have more bait to catch more garbage. Haha!
Wrapped a femfish half.
Whoa! Property of Sharper Valentine. Figures. If he had his way, property of Sharper Valentine would be written on everything in this town. Should we give it back to him? He may not even want it back. Man's got a contentious relationship with time. We'll keep it here in case he ever wants to pick it up. Cool. So yeah, we can just do that flashback fishing whenever we want. I like that. Rolo, you still up there? I'm sorry. Rolo isn't accepting visitors at the moment. Come back never.
Luca had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times, and it always meant one thing.
You're upset. Oh, what makes you say that? Maybe because my best friend abandoned me for no reason? I didn't abandon you. We're just a little late.
Rolo scoffed.
The rain held me up. Liar. You weren't even home. What? The storm got bad and I got worried, so I went looking for you. Imagine my surprise when I made it to your house and you weren't there. I hadn't made it back yet. I'm not a fool, Luca. It doesn't take all day to deliver some jam. No, the storm rolled in out of nowhere and I got stuck after dinner at Beck's.
Luca stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much.
Beck? Dinner? What the heck is a Beck? She's a new kid in town. She's actually kind of cool. You'd like her. She did help convincing her parents that she'd made some new friends. New friends? I spent all day waiting for you, and you're off making new friends? It's not like that, Rolo. You know. While I was waiting, I made some upgrades to mission control. It was going to be a surprise, but you took so long, and the storm knocked it all down. Just like you knocked down our friendship. What does that even mean?
Luca became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now
It means you're a bad friend. You don't care about me. Of course I care, you ass. I knew I'd get in trouble for waiting so late for you, but I kept my word, because that's what friends do. Oh wow, what a noble sacrifice you made. Easy for you to say. Your grand doesn't even care. You can stay out as long as you want. You wouldn't even get in trouble. Seriously? You're acting like I chose this? That's what you think? And maybe you're the bad friend.
Changed to a calm, yet more intense anger.
Maybe Pa's right. Storms bring more than water. This one brought out the real Luca. Stop quoting your Pa's nonsense like it means anything. Yeah, at least my Pa is still around. Ooh.
In the cold night air, Rolo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line.
Oh.
But it was too late.
Luca, good night, Rolo. Dang it. Well, we got pungent, I guess. We got a charm.
Luca dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for.
A ball. Rolo, what a jerk. Yeah. Call me a bad friend. Ooh, I'm Rolo. Look at me and my basic family. Oh, I was gonna say it. Just kick the. How long can I kick the ball around for? I wonder if it wants me to like. Rolo thinks I'm still going to the festival with him. He could shove it. Guess I'm just never supposed to make new friends. Weep. Luca?
Gran cooed gently from the hallway.
What are you... Come here. You slept straight through breakfast. Luca, are you alright? I'm fine. I just don't feel like getting up yet. Okay, I'll leave this oatmeal by the door. Gotta run out and take care of some things. Okay. I'll be back later to check in. Sure.
Luca just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
And then he kicked his soccer ball more. I bet Rollo's still gonna go to the festival. Humph. He's gonna be miserable. I'm not sure how much. Rollo thinks I'm still okay, so do I just go back to bed?
Luca dozed off again.
Guess I just go back to bed. Luca, I see you didn't eat your oatmeal. Wasn't hungry. Well, just in case you get hungry, I'll leave a sandwich here too. Thanks. Rollo came by. What did he say? He wanted to talk to you. What did you say? I told him you weren't feeling well. Good. So your plan is to sit in your room all day? Pretty much. Well, I need to pop away again for a minute. If you decide to end your pity party and go outside, I think it'd do you some good. Noted.
Lucas still couldn't bring himself to go out.
Depression simulator. I'm depressed, but
Besides,
I am a little
if he ran
jackalope
into
boy.
Rollo, he'd have to actually confront the situation.
I think I'm supposed to be a jackalope. Am I supposed to kick? Okay, I have to kick the ball there. Okay, all right. Hey.
The Adventures of Hank Atomic.
The complete first volume.
Luca carefully opened the cover and began to read. Rollo had received it for his birthday. A special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art. Rollo cherished
Getting
it.
that absolute edition.
At his house. Luca wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luca's more often. Whatever the reason, Luca didn't mind, but it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luca lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Luca, another little friend came to see you. A girl named Beck Miodwell, I think is how you say it. She said you met yesterday. What did she say? Is she here? She's just dropping by. Told her you weren't taking visitors today. Oh. She seems nice. Yeah. You had a fight with Rollo, didn't you? Can I come in? Maybe later. Alright then. I'll leave dinner on the kitchen table in case you want to buy it before bedtime.
Without realizing it, Luca had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luca stood
Just go to
in a
sleep the
vast
whole day.
black expanse.
The whole day we're sleeping.
He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake. Dad? Where are we? Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source? Luca's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. Well, if it isn't the man of the hour. Make yourself comfortable. Luca held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way here. Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame, see? Luca peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself. Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luca could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People. Luca leapt to his feet. We've got to help them! The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves? The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames. They only care about what's right in front of them, not like us. Luca's voice was a trembling whisper. Us? The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luca's own face looked back at him. Older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. I tried to help once. He gestured towards his face. And all it got me was this. Luca staggered back. You aren't me. Luca felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son. Luca watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin. Well, Dad, if you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint. Luca watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. What does all of this mean? Luca felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what we choose. Luca woke up to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun.
Mom? No, dear. It's only Gran.
Luca rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his Gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Fine. Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. That's just swell. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rolo fought about doesn't matter. But he...
Gran silenced Luca with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is not that it's the last thing you ever say to each other. He said stuff about Dad. Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. Uh-huh. And did you mean any of the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate friends in their best moments and accept them in their worst. Accept. Now get your little butt out of bed. The festival's today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I guess not. Seems like a good opportunity to make amends with Rolo, doesn't it?
Luca gave a reluctant nod.
So buy him a corn dog and apologize. Look, nothing says I'm sorry like a corn dog. Like, just get somebody like a bouquet of corn dogs if you insult them or upset them. But he's the one that... What did I just say? Buy him a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. Quick, screenshot that. Everything is better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Got some last minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. All right. I love you, Luca. Love you too. Yeah, no corn dog charm.
Luca took a deep breath.
Okay. Ooh, is it
Chapter
choice time?
6.
No. New chapter.
Through thick and thin. Despite Luca's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out with Rolo. A big fight changes the nature of a friendship. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, all comes down to understanding. If one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds can become the wrecking ball that shatters them. Luca emerged from seclusion, taking in the crisp festival air. But the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find Rolo.
We have to find Rolo. Try this way. I keep hitting that button. That's not the button. There you are, Luca. Rolo wanted me to tell you something. What is it?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking her head.
A space adventure, though you needn't buy it. If you be brave, go somewhere quiet. Roxy, I don't... It's a riddle, Luca. My goofy little brother wants you to find him.
Luca looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Look, I know you two had a fight. The only thing more annoying than my little brother is my little brother without his best friend. So I'm doing him this one favor. Now I need one favor from you. Whatever it is that went down between you two, squash it. A space adventure, though you needn't buy it. If you be brave, go somewhere quiet.
The road leading to a sort of...
Oh, we've seen this already. Okay, I'm a little curious. I just want to look real quick. Let's see if we've unlocked any new options. So I guess we're still feeling out the rumble. Unique New York. Unique New York. Huh? Oh, don't mind me. Just warming up for my big ceremony speech.
Mr. Kerr pointed to his grinning mouth.
Gotta limber up the old gab box. Gab box sounds filthy. Oh, heavens no. Well, break a leg. Give me the gift of... How goes the beetle hunt? Pretty rotten. I haven't seen so much as an exviate. That word. It's not just the beetles. This morning I couldn't find any critters at all. It's like everything that buzzes or skittered just packed up and left. Sure, they're out somewhere. Maybe all the commotion of the festival just spooked them. Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay. Welcome to our festival. Don't forget to come back later for Mr. Kerr's speech and the Perennial Harvest Festival sign reveal. You don't want to miss it. Yeah. Cool. I don't know who Perennial Harvest thinks they are. They're impressing with this ridiculous festival. Totally. Town's still falling apart. The weather's still cruddy. Season's harvest looks like it's gonna be worse than last year's. You said it. No amount of corporate pandering is gonna change any of that. Exactly. But the lemonade at the drink stand over there looks pretty tasty. Fits. I'm still gonna be mad at them. I'd just rather be mad while sipping some delicious lemonade is all. They just put more boxes around him. Ain't moving.
Jeff was staring into the distance with a wistful look.
Hey, Jeff, everything all right? Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, it used to be fine. Just ain't right these days, you know? I really do, actually.
Jeff turned to Luca with a furrowed brow, then gave an understanding nod.
You do, don't you?
For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
All right, let's talk to these jerks. Haha, every single time. Yup. Wait for it. Unexplained sound once again noted. There's robots like clockwork. What a bunch of drones. Ha ha ha. So I think that hint is to go to the library. Because, like, you don't need to buy the book. I was able to return the perennial harvest safety suit you borrowed. I don't think anyone noticed. Good. Now will you tell me what you needed it for? It was a favor for an enemy of my enemy. This isn't going to harm Mr. Kerr, is it? All you need to know is that it's for the good of the family. Piper, you're actually taking a break from studying. I wanted to see what all the festival fuss was about. But I can't help but notice you still brought your backpack full of books. Luca, backpacks can carry a lot more than just books. True. What you got in there? Books. Let's see what the prophet here has to say. This is the first time I've seen this many smiling faces since the foul harvest. I had my doubts about perennial harvest, but I must admit they do put on a nice party. Alright, that's the cafe, that's the town hall. Library's down here, right? Hey, Luca. So you're done at the library? Huh? Oh,
Griffin
nothing.
looked away suspiciously.
Nothing at all. Oh, okay, so... I wonder if I can break the melon. Can I break the melon, do you think? Luca, did you know that Beacon Pines is actually unincorporated? A lot of people don't know that. Wow, yeah, I didn't know. What's that mean? It means most public works are handled internally. We do all the pipelines, the water treatment, building regulations. Uh-huh, that's great. Census taking. Emergency services. Okay, it's brought away. There's the library. Okay, I was like... The library, somewhere quiet.
There were rarely any simply of...
Right, we saw this before. That's not been changed. Okay. This little bird. Hey, Luca!
Kato's eyes lit with excitement.
I've been expecting you. Bravo on deciphering the first riddle. The first... Oh, you didn't think that was all, did you? Rollo does go all out, doesn't he?
Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
Ahem. On planet Farpole, you may take issue. When the 5th king dies, you'll need a tissue.
Kato stared at Luca eagerly.
Get it? Want me to tell you? No, it's okay. Let me figure it out. Alright, when you find it, bring it here to be verified. And if you decide you want a hint, the offer still stands. Hi, Jace. Still working through the newest Hank Atomic? You know it. It's a fascinating canon towards the end. Did you know? Hank Atomic's shrink array doesn't technically shrink stuff. It uses inverse quantum particle decay to literally grow the entire universe around an object, leaving that object unaltered. So it just looks shrunk compared to everything else? Bingo. That's wild. But Jace, no spoilers, please. Oh, right. Sorry.
Luca grabbed the modern... Luca grabbed natural photography.
Okay, 5th issue. Comic books.
Luca grabbed the...
Oh.
Luca grabbed the adventure.
There we go. I bet that's what it is.
Kato removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luca's. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed. The Adventures of Hank Atomic, Issue 5. Luca clicked his tongue with recognition.
Rollo's cipher pen. He used to write secret messages everywhere with that. Only I had the special flashlight needed to reveal it, but I lost it. Well, apparently he traded Jeff for this purple light bulb. Parted with his entire Halloween candy stash. Oh, Rollo. Now let's see here.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
Get away with such a
He
grift?
continued flipping.
Only found in Grub. Cart.
Reaching the end of the book,
That's it. Griff in grub cart. Griffin grub cart. He wants me to go to Griffin snack stand. I guess you're off then. Good luck on the rest of the scavenger hunt. Thanks, Kato. Oh, that's why he was like, you're done at the library. I need to stay away from Nuncreed because he fucking killed me. Alright, Griffin, hi. Hey, Griffin, did Rollo come?
Before Luca could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn dog.
Oh, that's it? Bought and paid for. Enjoy. Thought there was supposed to be a riddle or something.
Luca shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn dog.
Yeah, it's cold. Oh yeah, it's been sitting here a while. Rollo wanted me to make sure to give you that one specifically. Well, that's
Luca
just...
tummed at his cheeks, feeling something rough between his teeth. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a slip of paper.
Ugh. Oh, come on.
He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip.
A pickup when you need some pep. Near the fountain, up the
Luca
step.
finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
This is gonna be a whole thing. Alright, this is a coffee shop. There you are, Luca. There's no way I'm actually doing this. It's way below my pay grade. Oh, come on, you big stiff. Let the kids have some fun. Fine, but Rollo owes me one.
He waved his hands around sarcastically as he began.
But what takes flight but has no wings? Your final task a friendship brings. See, that wasn't so hard. Hard. Ugh, I feel cheapened somehow. I think it's sweet. So can we be good cop, hard cop now? Yeah, okay. Be a hard cop. Oh, there he is. Hey. Did you find the comic book? Yep. And you got the corn dog? Yeah. Well then. I know it doesn't make up for what I said, but here, you've earned
Rollo
this.
sheepishly handed Luca the balloons.
Thanks. You didn't have to go to all this trouble. I'm sorry I got so mad. Dang it, you were supposed to let me apologize first. Oh, sorry. Now you've apologized twice before me. Just let me do this. Luca, I'm really sorry. With everything that's happened with your mom and all, I always wanted to be there for you. Be a good friend, you know? When you said you were hanging out with somebody else, I kind of freaked out. Rollo. Still my turn. I felt like if you needed some new friend to help you, it meant that I wasn't good enough. But that was selfish and wrong. I was wrong. I'm so sorry, Luca. Okay, apology over. You can talk now.
Luca threw himself at Rollo, hugging him as tightly as he could.
Hug. Rollo, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you either. That's why we deserve each other. So, what else do you want to do today? We could snoop around and try to find some info about your mom. Snoop where? We could probably sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ while everyone's at the festival. Aren't you curious about all that stuff those clipboards wrote down? What if we get caught? I think I've had enough excitement for 1 week. Let's just make the rest of the day about us. Really? Yeah, the rest of the world can wait one more day. You know? I have been wanting to get some work done on the MCDC at Mission Control. The aim is a bit unpredictable. Because we died. We died last time. We tried to shoot the thing at the guy and it didn't work. There you go. That sounds perfect. Oh, I got balloons. Yay. Oh, hey, my buddy's here. Did you hear? After Mr. Kerr gives his big speech, they're going to have the first annual Biggest Catch competition. As long as a boot qualifies as a catch, I'm a shoo-in. Boo. Do I have any new bait? I don't think I have new bait. No, I don't have save.
Good for.
Oh, I almost forgot. I ran into your gram this morning. She asked me to give you this.
Lulu handed Luca an unopened letter.
I'll wait for you inside if you want to read it now. A letter?
Luca, some things are going to happen that might be difficult for you to understand. If I am honest, I hardly understand them myself. But whatever happens, I need you to know that I love you. None of this is fair to you. You have already lost so much. We both have. I wish there was a simpler way forward. But if there is, I haven't thought of it. God knows I've tried. Everything I've done, I did for you. I hope someday you can accept that. Love, Gran.
I love you too,
Luca
Gran.
folded the paper into his pocket and handed up the letter.
That sounds bad, right? What's up with the letter? Anything you want to talk about? Maybe later. Sure, whenever you want. Well, we know Gran has a bunch of explosives in the basement. I mean, in this timeline, we don't know, but we know. Is she gonna blow up that building, like the perennial harvest building? I know we've been looking forward to the festival for weeks. After I ruined everything with my big mouth, this was the best way to make sure you still had a good time without me. Rolo.
Luca was at a loss for words, but that was fine. Words aren't always necessary.
The festival seemed nice. Was it nice? We could still go. Nah, this is fine. Well, there's always next year.
Sadly, this was untrue. A distant rumble shook the treehouse.
They blew it up. They just... Oh, man, this the fireworks.
Not fireworks. It was something
no.
the boys couldn't possibly comprehend. Something as old and cruel as time itself.
What?
A shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter, unfathomable chill. Before they could react, it encased them in ice. Two boys, reunited by friendship, only to be cruelly separated by a malevolence beyond reason. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene, in a silent treehouse turned statuary. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits a pair of friends, alone, together, for the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't.
What the fuck? Why do I keep dying?
I won't accept it, and I hope you won't either. There are more endings. We are just going to have to sort through them all until we find the one that fits.
Okay. So we got a couple of things to try. We've been playing over here. Let's try this. Let's do this one. So we know fight doesn't work because the aim is off.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
This is the timeline where we made that bully kid a mutant.
He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr, we'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. What's up with the winter wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Oh, wait. That's the... Luca. Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. Hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
Seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. Okay. So this is like where... Okay, because this looks like... There's that... Huh.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
Manhole cover? But this, I've never seen one like it. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. It's a bit down from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Nah, still safe. Might be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. So this is the Beacon Pines sign, right? What's all this? It's hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there. What town could this even be? It could be another town this deep into Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Situations such as these, I find it best to chuck stuff first and ask questions second.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How do we get back here? Guess we got turned around? Where all the snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. It's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Yeah, this is town. Stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle you shoved me into, yeah.
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
See the stuff they put up around Weepwood. Stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. Our town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming. Yeah, I haven't had time to say it, but thanks, for getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Now that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. Second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Jeez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why don't you go around saying cruel things or trying to get into fights? Something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet. She already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know.
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that
He
impression.
cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
Yeah, let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
That's not a good idea. Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. This is how you remember them, huh? Luca turned to see his own, the doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories. You don't remember, do you? Luca snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep, minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. Sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you.
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Uh-huh. Okay, let's lower the temperature a little bit. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend, an observer, a hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great. How about a name? You must call me something. You can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you. I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in the Weep Wood. So we're teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is all some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. This is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair. But a replica, nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate, which we would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. Mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It is a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane.
Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably.
So you're saying someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
He narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
Excuse me. The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
To laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
Oh, excuse me. This really is home.
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood. Who is Nat? Is Nat like a narrator?
The source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard.
Oh no.
A headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply. Just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh, Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
Is this loss? We gotta hide. 259K. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. Did you ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey! Hey! Don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. What the fuck was that? Stormtrooper doing the moonwalk. Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luca stuttered through heaving sobs.
Thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey! Who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover. Who are you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off the switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to perennial harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. What if it's too big to smash?
He flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do this. Get awfully cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rolo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Oh, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. So we can't go that way. Yeah, because, like, this is where my house is. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why'd you bury under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rolo were doing chores at Rolo's chicken coop, and you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rolo got grounded for months. Which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low, so I buried him under that tree. When I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found him and tossed him.
Iggy triumphantly raised the...
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. You think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head. Hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks that they are a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Pray for a blast off, loser. Alright. This way, maybe? Crooked. Just like this whole stinking place. Hey! That looks like a source.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo! Echo. Wait. Look, wait. Echo! Echo! Whoa. I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. Why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole? How do we smash a hole? Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr! Where's Rolo? I was lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Drat, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
Really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined, Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us. You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is, we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. You happen to be extras ready for your curtain call. You aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not going to be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It even makes a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a
Kerr
bit.
snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't?
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you. Regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I am an exceptional liar. But, that's far enough.
He plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool! Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What, like this?
Flick. Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Whoa.
Growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca.
Oh, no.
Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference. They're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr is out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Iggy is hardcore. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phileas Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Dum, 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 dum. Wow, you would believe this guy?
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Felt his hand slipping.
Oh, no. As I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. Two birds with one stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
Calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. Oh, shit. Okay, I'll pick one and we'll go right back and do the other one.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request.
I'm pretty sure this will end, this particular branch,
Luca
with
watched
the...
teardrops sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempest liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. Useful side product of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the hole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yeah. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to create a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
You have some idea what that would look like.
It'll take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our own role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder.
That can't be it.
Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Okay, so let's just do the other one.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need... It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end. I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Okay. So that's the end of that branch entirely. So the next place that we have an option, we got to go be the hard cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop.
This game is so cool. What a cool idea. Like, what a fun mechanic.
I've got this.
To base your game on.
Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice. Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver.
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on, let's calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweat.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We could do this my way, or let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly...
You've tied me down. How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Is that phrasing? Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran. Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, huh? Blow up the festival? Good lord.
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's
His
where...
voice faded to a whisper.
The town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What do you say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but we better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library? If there's any information about the source thing, Cato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Okay, chat, I'm going to take just a little bit of a break. I have to go to the bathroom. But I'll be right back. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I just had a lot of water today.
There were rarely any actual, simply.
Okay, so we've seen this already.
Oh, the cobs I've eaten. A salad-centric travel guide. Sally Seashore's simple Luca brushed off a smudge. 30 recipes so... A peek behind the methods and ruminations of Patrick C. Montesquieu. One of the greatest by...
This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little young to be a librarian? Oh, Cato here hung out so much they eventually gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Mrs. Novak sometimes. They let you working for free? It's quiet, and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Ah, you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sort of don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading, but they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life until he read so much boring crud and his brain oozed out his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
Got a better idea? Spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. It won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Really? That's the best you got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute in.
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait a minute. What was that name back? In the obit? J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name. Juniper Hartford. Is my grandma not my grandma? Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your grand is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with? My
The
God.
question hung in the air.
This is a cute little animal game. Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10? Oh, crap. Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something. I guess we'll have to murder him.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves.
I go kill him, I guess. Time to die.
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely.
Oh, fuck.
She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Oh no, he escaped.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
I've been there, bud. Okay, I can figure this out. I just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
Afraid your jam delivery will be
He
delayed.
flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nunn Creed. Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Unless my fucking grandma murders me. I feel like every other adult in this game has murdered me at least once. Oh, she's gone. Oh, no. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. A few more steps.
Luca groaned.
My dad?
And his limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
I went to sleep, I guess. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now. Let me handle everything. Let me terrorist attack our town.
A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
Well, we've seen that Mr. Nuncreed is one. He has killed me twice. Based on what we've discovered, he has killed me twice on different timelines. And he's also a sex pest.
Shaking the questions from
So,
his woozy head.
both of those things I think are viable.
The matter at hand.
Sorry. Shaking those questions from his woozy head, Lucas snapped back to the matter at hand. The festival. So I think definitely viable reason for Mr. Nuncreed to get drugged, as he is a sex pest and a child murderer. He has done both of those things. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Sly devil. Hey. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around, but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. All right. Wait. Oh, boy.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Ahem. Is this thing... hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Oh, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be ashamed to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Oh, jeez. Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's... This guy exhausts me. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. and I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip.
Biting his lip.
The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community, and Perennial Harvest is a community, first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
Oh God. Now we walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making stuff happen. Making things happen. Shit, I'm sorry. Change is a choice, and I am tickled pink that we will be all making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was
The
that?
crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Throughout my travels, I've learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town, and it is so with a happy heart that I can proclaim.
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits. And then we all die. From the ice.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end. There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again. No,
No, we'll figure it out.
We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again, please.
Okay, so new options then. We're taking a look. We can be a sly cop now.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What's going on here? You're that Meowdwell girl. Please call me Beck. Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
Seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
Oh no. You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here to
held her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the
Beck
evidence.
shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning up things down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good, there's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And when you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. She said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it. That's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. The whole time Mr. Tolliver had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rolo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number things. So U would be 21, N would be 14, D would be, ooh, it's an anagram. Nuncreed's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rolo with amazement.
Rolo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's nude rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Oh no, this child murderer. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral.
The road leading
Oh, I always want to go there. That's not it. All right. Let's see if we've got another fishing lure yet. Yeah.
Luca tied a bed. If
All you have is a hammer. Every problem is a nail. Ooh. It's a photo of you and Uncle Joseph. Let me see that. Oh, look at those two young fools. How did it end up at the bottom of the pond? Who can say? Some things are just hard to explain. I miss Uncle Joseph. How come he doesn't come fishing with us anymore? He's busy with his new job at Valentine's. What's the new job got to do with him fishing with us? It's complicated. Like I said, some things are hard to explain. Okay, so my uncle worked at Valentine's. Interesting. I don't have time to play cool. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. We was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What's this insipid town festival really about? I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you can make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what current perennial harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damned backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future, or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. Oh, hello. It's getting late. Well, let's talk to the prophet down here. Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. I hate it when the villain makes a good point. Better do some good luck smacks.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might always have family to rely on, licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold, hard cash. Solomon's a creep. I feel like he's a creep. Oh, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Door's locked. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
This is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's Nude Rug Store. I mean, Underground Secrets. The
Beck
password.
opened the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Felt like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we...
The
Oh!
inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate.
Okay, we've died twice
The chaotic descent slowed
in this
to an
elevator.
effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Whoa.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it. You know that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember what I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real? Rolo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. Looks like each of these has something written on them. Alright. Let's poke around here. This suit has a broken mask. So have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Right. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town's all farms and fertilizer, and a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point where they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. Where does she do? Science stuff. She's involved in all this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? That's true. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
His hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Well, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome. You all need to come with me now. We're not going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers, Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password. They love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nun Creed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true, I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were a sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand, and he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. My dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he still got me saying yes. Is there a point to the sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Creed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this, but you forced my hand.
Began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My Gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's gonna disrupt the festival? Why would she?
Color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's gonna do right now. She doesn't understand what she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain, but why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source. The heck is the source? She tries to destroy the source that could catalyze him. Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. Far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The cold, hard truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera, as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. I don't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We gotta catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Okay. So I can't futz with that. Let's go. We have the same. Maybe we can clear off the snow. No time. Nuncreed's getting away. Oh, there's always time. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed in all things beaconpines. This does look like some sort of frozen replica of the town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. These species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a beaconpine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You'll get used to it. We should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
He looks supremely unbothered. I know, like, they had, like...
Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Graham stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the...
Oh, gosh. Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. You drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient your way just happened to line your pockets. Well, that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath.
It's getting rough.
The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Oh no, I have to make a choice.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, look at the wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to crump. None of hum.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind, the only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note. Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo. The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother, only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Mom?
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd piece it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? You tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. The more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. They don't care who gets hurt in the process. What do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard
Gazed
truth.
down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come everyone, we've got a party to crash. Sag. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And that's what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck, making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink. We'll be able to make that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret, and perennial harvests only exist to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated, Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you too. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please? Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just as sneaky as the Dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. Now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable so that she can get the help that she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. The ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side, like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party, but alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. You've done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed on.
Gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist. A hushed horror gripped the crowd.
His clothes changed.
Story about change.
What? No. So you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Ha! Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. Malice. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr.
Gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward. Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy? I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give, the opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. Say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But silence, Augustus, an adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who's completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I am wasting my time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? What about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where is Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. People deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter. Cheer up. You are about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those of you who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of Perennial Harvest? Ha! You think that puffed-up blatherskite could have accomplished all of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire at your service. Oh, his book's in the library. Founder, I just wanted to thank you again for this opportunity. It truly was the role of a lifetime. Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a Pat C all the time? Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know now what each and every person in this town fears the most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ha! The young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends have made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I've won. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought, but well worth it.
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where Winters grew longer and longer. The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Okay, so we can weep there. Let's go to the part where the man...
There was a malice lurking back like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncrete's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want this all to be over. Of course, I'm sure it will work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for Rollo at the
Luca
treehouse.
twisted free of Nuncrete's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. Just get out of there. Holy shit. Oh, heck, there's Sharper and his little buddy. I know you. Festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree. This is more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It'd be a shame if someone...
scurried off, eager.
Okay, so they talked about this before. That's another thing. Oh, let's talk to the lady who reading the book. He looked down and muttered in his gruff voice, Mom always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up, but my problems always seem to grow right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead. I definitely need to smack the good luck watermelon. Alright, what are we doing? Go to the treehouse. Well, Rollo's not gonna show up, though. From what we know. Let's see if we get another choice here. Oop. Identify yourself, please. Nellie Modewell. I work here now. I am unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. I don't want to talk to that guy again. Whoa, you can get a wrench those noggins sneaking up on the guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junking, Sonny. While he's what? Oh, late to be junking? Okay, if I didn't see nothing, if you didn't see nothing. Okay. Junkin. Alright, did I get another fishing thing? Not.
Luca gently first.
Rollo?
He aired a long...
Rollo! Sigh. Rollo, wherever you are, I hope you're
Luca
okay.
felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace. Once again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire, the source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket, a keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. You made me proud, Buckaroo. Luca turned to face him. Dad, what is this place? A warm grin grew across his father's face. A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together. Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out. As Luca's doppelganger stepped forward, that's up to you. Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real? Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me. Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. And you? The doppelganger choked back tears. I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone. Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. I think so. His father pulled him in for an embrace. Time to go, Buckaroo. Luca was startled from
Are you in
a
there?
commanding voice. Just as Luca sprang.
Oh. Jump
Chapter
scare noise.
5. Dangers big and small. Luca stumbled back.
Right.
He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
Oh, it's Big Rolo. Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are
The
you?
large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rolo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rolo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him.
He's a man. He's an adult.
Something about him was undeniably Rolo, only bigger, older, changed.
How? What happened to you? I was running away. I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. Why? Where did they take you? I don't know. They threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big. Look.
Rolo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, would be my first pick for a superpower, but beggars can't be choosers. Rolo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rolo to his reflection in the balcony window. His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rolo, what did they do to you? They made you drink some sort of green crud. Ew. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It kind of tasted like licorice. I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sort of smashed open my cage and escaped. Whoa, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. And even a cage? Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome. Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luca, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched, and I know where snatched people go. We might finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger? Ha!
Rolo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. Hey, fellas, what's up?
With a yelp,
Ah. Did I come at a bad time? Where the heck are you? This is back. Surely something bizarre just happened and I need help. I don't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your large adult friend? No, this is Rolo. This is my buddy Rolo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. The heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry. You're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How did you find us? You silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. Hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret, and I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rolo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened? Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rollo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rolo. It's been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was trying to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry strip my mom gave me. Okay, just need to play it cool and hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing. I was just... come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? Kind of felt like a change. This is gonna take forever to grow out. You were the one who said the change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck. He is. Him and his weird cult of personality. You're not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. The people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains. You'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know, I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival, but not other people.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey, but it doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more,
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? No. Sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look. Great. Can we get back to the story now? The next part is the important bit. I have this radio I upgraded with my mom, and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Kerr, are you there? Mr. Kerr? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies, I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What is your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering? Nellie Mjodwell seems to be integrating nicely. At this moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it. Excellent. If you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor, her work must be complete before the festival. I will make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good. You know how I feel about loose ends. Yes, sir. Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects at the company. Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. We are in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she will either leave the office, completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all. Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit. Oh? Just we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline. And rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I just want what's best for you. And I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me. Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions. Of course, sir. Chin up, Bill. You're only a few days away from having everything you've ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we know that the plan is that the harvest, that the festival is the unveiling of like the new Sharper Valentine. interesting. This game is so cool. Just so we're clear, when they say loose ends, they're talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone, capital murder.
Rolo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who's this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. Nah, as far as we know, Kerr is the top banana at perennial harvest. He sounded scared of this farmer guy, this founder guy. So we have an even topper banana on the field. The hell is my mom caught up in? Well, like, you know, Kerr can be a top and still, my new Discord handle, large adult friend. The hell is my mom caught up in? She's talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work with someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was the person Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nellie's predecessor got loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? That creep on the radio said they were going to hold her until then. So she's not coming out. We got to go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this will help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome mat from my mom's PH orientation day. But it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. There's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is, right?
Rolo started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6. The Heist.
Oh, man. Oh. Chat, I really want to keep going. But we've been streaming for over 3 hours now. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it short. That being said, let me just bop over here. That being said, so normally I don't stream on Friday. But I will. I am going to stream this Friday. To make up for not being here yesterday because I was feeling under the weather. But we'll pick this game up tomorrow. We'll start around the same time, and we will see what happens with the heist. This game is so cool. I'm such a big fan of it. Yeah, this game rules. Absolutely. So I will be back here tomorrow. We're probably pretty close to the end. We might finish it up tomorrow. But we'll probably finish this tomorrow. And then Friday, I have a couple of ideas for what we'll play Friday. But we'll see. Thank you guys for joining me again tonight. Thank you for the new follows that we got tonight. And I'll see you all tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.